listening to the Otakuology Podcast with Otaku Mike Engine Graves.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of ASMR Time. No, of the Otakuology Podcast, where we like to talk about many different subjects and things. Which some say that we're the best podcast in the world. Don't want to toot my own horn, but
I think you might be the only person to say that.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. I know at least one other. I know at least one other person that says that in the world.
Me?
Exactly. So, yeah.
Okay.
Well, so how was your week?
It was okay until I had to watch this movie.
I don't want to talk about this movie.
It was definitely something else. So
this is one of those movies I feel like is one of those things that would make a really good drinking game.
Yeah.
But other than that, I can't really find another use for it.
How so?
Just because it was not the best.
So what movie we were talking about, obviously, is called The Deer King. And The Deer King is...
Deer King, which the title I don't even feel like actually fits with what it should have been. But
I don't know if it does either, but it was done by Production IG, which was... it's a very good animation studio. It was directed by Masashi Ando and Misayuki my Aji. I can't say that name. But they are very prolific like animators, and because they worked on some like Ghibli stuff, like Spirited Away and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This movie came out in February 4th, 2022. Apparently, it was delayed due to COVID. A little synopsis,
which is weird. I don't know why it was delayed due to COVID, because they could have done all the animation on their computers at home, and then people could have gotten voice actors.
It's true.
At home.
It's true. So the plot of this is, in the years following a vicious war, the Empire of Zou now controls the land and citizens of the rival Aquifa. Is that what they're called? The Aquifa?
Yeah.
I kept calling them the Aquifer.
The Aquifer are attacking.
Except for the Aquifa Fire Horse territory, where wild dogs that once carried a deadly black wolf fever continues to roam free. When a pack of dogs race through the Zou-controlled mine, Vaughn, an enslaved former soldier, and a young girl named Yuna are both bitten.
Yeah. That guy had a name?
Yeah, his name was Vaughn or Van. They called him Van in the show, in the movie.
I didn't know he had a name.
Yeah, they're bitten, but managed to escape as the sole survivors of this attack. Finally free, Vaughn and Yuna seek out a simple, peaceful existence in the countryside. But as the deadly disease once again runs rampant, they find themselves at the crossroads of a struggle not much larger than one nation. Apparently, what this is a synopsis is. This is also based on a novel series that was 2 volumes long, as well.
Like graphic novel?
No, like a novel like book.
Oh, okay.
So you kind of want to talk about like the opening of this. We'll hit like the big parts of this movie, I guess you could say. So the movie starts out, I would say, pretty cool. I like the beginning where the dogs or the wolves were like going through the countryside. It was like almost like a big purple like blob made up of like wolves.
Yeah.
When they started attacking all the people in the mines, that was pretty cool. I thought it was very well animated. Like I felt like the opening
I'm just
was well
kind of
done.
confused how they got down there.
And through the giant hole that was in the floor.
I know, but then how did they get back out?
Oh, I don't know.
See, look,
I
exactly.
think they all disappeared.
Maybe they just ran up the side of the wall. Because the other thing was, when he's leaving
Uh-huh.
and there's the ladder that goes up or whatever, he like shakes the ladder and there's a person that's dead right in the middle of it.
Yeah, and they
And I'm
fall
like, well,
over.
did they get bit and
Yeah.
then try and climb up, or did somehow they got up there and then got bit?
Who knows? I don't know.
Because I don't imagine a wolf being able to jump 40 feet in the air.
I mean, these were like magical wolves.
Their bite was magical. They weren't magical.
But the entire mine gets slaughtered. They're the only two people left. It's very much like a cold opening almost. We don't know anything about these two people. And then it goes from there to
I.e., this is why Jen didn't know the guy's name.
I mean, I didn't know his name until like quite some time within the movie. Because after this, we end up following this like doctor guy, and he's for the Zhou Empire, and he's like he's studying the disease, which is like I forget what this disease is called. It has a specific name.
It's the thing that you read, the black wolf.
No, they
whatever.
called it something else, but we can call it the
Oh,
black wolf disease.
they called it like Miyuki or something.
Mifumi or whatever. I don't remember what it was called. But I don't even remember what this guy's name is. But he is studying the
Hold on, I
disease,
got you.
and he happens to. Does he happen to? No, he didn't come upon Vaughn. He
So I tried looking this up.
uh-huh.
I said Deer King disease name,
Uh-huh.
and it said, "Oh, did you want deer diseases?" Christ.
But yeah, the story kind of intersects and intertwines with these 2 to 3 people. We get a lot of Vaughn and Yuna basically living a simple life within like this small village that they end up coming upon. Uh, Not much is known about them, but we do get some sporadic flashbacks of Vaughn and his family who are dead. He was part of this like
Which
what was
is
like
not
this.
this little girl.
No, it's not this little girl at all. But they had a name. They had a name. I don't remember what their name was called. Like the Lone Antlers. I think it was called
Yeah, something like that.
something like that. Which were like they were a force that tried to fight the Zhou Empire.
Yeah, it
And
was it was kind of, for anybody that has seen Game of Thrones, it was kind of
yeah,
like the Night Watch,
kind
except
of yeah.
instead of having like wolves or other like winter things for them, it was these deer
Yeah,
thingies.
they rode reindeer. They had a different name, like it's like Puiqua, I think they were called, but they're basically like reindeer.
Yeah.
And Vaughn has this like mysterious power. He's not affected by the wolf bite and the disease. Neither is Yuna. We find that out later. But they're trying to track down. These people are trying to track down Yuna and Vaughn because they're the only 2 survivors in this attack, which is very rare because this virus like kills every living thing it touches. I think it was like if you're like a human or I think even like animal, maybe I'm not for sure.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was every animal.
Yes, yeah, if I remember correctly. But it. So I ended up falling asleep through a portion of this movie. I had no idea that I had no idea that Yuna ended up getting kidnapped.
Yeah.
Like I fell asleep when the the uh the Empire came to get Vaughn, and
They started
and I
fighting.
woke. Yeah, they started fighting. I woke up after that.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's like a portion of this movie that I did not watch, um, but then Vaughn ends up going on a quest to
Well,
save
let me
Yuna.
just tell you, I watched the whole movie and
Uh huh.
I still miss stuff. So
There was a lot of
obviously, obviously, since I didn't know his name was Vaughn.
there was a lot of info dumping in this movie, like a lot. And I was like, okay, what's going on? Like, it was a little hard to follow at some points. I don't know if it's because I was just not really totally interested in the movie, but
I
because at first I was,
I
at first I was
agree.
interested.
Besides,
You agree?
because after the whole beginning thing
What?
where the wolves are in the mine
Uh
and
huh.
whatnot, it was good. But then it
Yeah.
just got hectic from there. It got worse, and I hate it.
I feel like
Hey,
there was a very much a big pacing problem.
hey, pause it real quick.
All right, so where were we? We had to pause the podcast. So
Yeah.
yeah, so like Vaughn ends up going on a quest to the uh damn it.
I don't even think he goes on a quest. He just goes to
Well, I'm using quest as like a broad terminology.
yeah, he goes to the place with the villagers.
Yeah. The
Which
where
here's something that I was confused on with the villagers, right?
uh-huh.
And they must have just added it in for flair, but it really didn't make sense in the thing at all.
Uh-huh.
But where the guy was talking about, oh well, you know, I'm the only one in the village that'll talk to you because of XYZ,
Yeah.
and him and like one other guy will talk to him because they're from wherever it is, but then the other people wouldn't talk to him because they'd never shared a drink with him.
Oh yeah, that was kind of weird.
And I was like, well, everybody else in the damn kingdom talks to him, you know, regardless of having a drink with him or
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, it was interesting because there was another thing where like the Zoe people couldn't drink the deer milk because
Yeah, because they thought it was like under or beneath him.
yeah, beneath them and they would turn them into beasts, you know?
Yeah.
And so he goes off to try to find Yuna, and it's a long, this whole part is really long. Like, after Yuna gets kidnapped, like, it's just kind of just a big old fucking slog until the end of the until the end of the movie. Till
Yeah.
he, till he actually gets to where Yuna is.
I
With all,
agree. And we didn't have really anything that connected a lot of stuff, which was confusing as well.
yeah,
Because then we have the fire. I almost said Fire Nation, the Fire Pony or whatever.
the fire horse.
Yeah, which didn't make any sense to me either because they had wolves. So
Yeah, it was like the what was it? The like last bastion of like Aquifa territory that's not controlled
yeah, and then
because of the virus.
the other thing that I was confused about is supposedly the guy that he was talking to when he first went to Fire Horse Village
Uh huh.
was kind of like insinuating he was like the king, and he
Yeah.
told him like I'm the last one. And then when he went down or whatever and saw the guy that was in the tree
Yeah.
or whatever, he was like I'm the king.
Yeah.
So that was a little muddled as well.
Yeah. And I feel like when it comes to the big like climax of the movie, to where like so the dogs end up like they end up like it was like they end up like affecting Yuna, and she becomes like kind of evil, and she's gonna go
Well, they
right.
tried to affect Van because really you find out, at least as far as I believe,
Yeah,
that the curse is actually not done by the wolves. It's transferred by the wolves, but it's
Yeah.
actually the king of Firehorse Village, which is whoever the guy is that's stuck in the tree, not the
Yeah.
other guy that says whatever, even though somehow they're supposedly connected in a way as well.
And he's looking for like a new heir,
Yeah, he's looking for
basically.
his predecessor, and since Vaughn won't take it, he decides, well, there's one other person that can take it that will probably not deny me, and that's Yuna.
Because the only person who can take the throne, I guess you could say, is somebody who is like immune to to the disease.
Right.
Yeah, and Vaughn's immune.
Well, and the weird thing is the disease wasn't necessarily in their eyes a disease,
Yeah.
which is another thing that was kind of, to me, it was kind of bullshit. Okay. Um, I fully understand, like, hey, but they should have come off earlier with the people from Firehorse Village or whatever.
Yeah.
I would have actually would liked it to kind of start with like a prophecy, or
Hmm.
the old man like, oh, I'm gonna die, I need to find an heir, and get a little backstory, and then do the whole scene from the mine,
Yeah.
and that would have been perfect. But we also don't know, like, to everybody else this is a disease.
Hmm.
Well, with the other guy, this isn't a disease. It's kind of a rite of passage. Uh you let yourself get bit by the wolf, and if this thing kind of affects you, then they know a way for you to be healed, which is by drinking the, I almost said the
The
moo moo milk.
the moo moo milk. Oh, we go with moo moo milk
Yeah, by drinking the moo moo milk. So
because
you did that, and it fixed it or whatever. But if you got like, if you didn't have a bad reaction and you kind of got power out of it, then you were the chosen one, or one
yeah,
of the chosen ones.
it was also because he drank them. They drank the milk because the puiqua or the deer, whatever they're called, because they ate a specific kind of like grass or like herb or something,
Yeah.
and which caused the immune system to develop like immunities to the black wolf virus.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we don't learn that out like later on because they're trying to find a cure for this disease. Uh, one part I thought was kind of, I don't say like funny, but I feel like it really definitely fit the like the world that they were in, was when the king got infected.
Oh
and
God. I
and
don't even want to talk about that guy.
but like he gets infected and he's like, oh, let us heal you, and like, no, I can fight this infection myself, I'm the king.
Yeah, and we can heal you, but I don't want to be healed, because the way to do it is by interchanging other blood through mine, and those bloods aren't the same.
Yeah, I have the royal blood in my veins.
Yeah.
We do that, I will become dirty. Like, I kind of laughed at that part 'cause I just thought it was funny because, like,
Well, I
royalty.
thought it was really nasty where
Oh,
he
when he
told the
starts.
guy to come lick him.
Oh yeah, that was nasty. And
He's
he,
like, if you don't think there's anything wrong with this blood, why don't you come have your own taste? And then it was like weird for a second, and it was almost like a scene from One Punch Man or whatever.
yeah.
Because I swear he like grabbed the meat of his leg where this wolf bite was,
And when he starts squeezing it.
and then it almost looked like he grabbed it and started trying to pull the meat off of the leg,
Oh,
and I
maybe.
was like, is this guy insane?
Yeah. It was. Yeah. I mean, like, so, like, yeah. Yuna gets like infected or controlled by these wolves. She's gonna go kill the empire or the emperor. And
Well, she
Vaughn.
gets from the king guy, not the
Yeah.
wolves.
Yeah, from the king guy. But she controls the wolves at this
Yeah.
point. And because Vaughn has to go stop her, and like Vaughn is immune, and he like takes control over the wolves.
Well, and there is one part of this stuff that I liked.
Uh huh.
They did really pull off when Yuna was quote unquote like evil.
Yeah.
she really did look evil.
Oh,
Just like
she looked creepy.
the look in her eye
Oh,
was like,
yes.
oh.
I do agree with that. That shit was creeping me out.
That is one of the things I can commend them on. I mean, the story, like I said, the story is pretty shit, but
Yeah.
a lot of the art in this was really good.
Oh, no, I have to
I
agree.
do have to put that on it.
I do have to agree as well. The art, the animation in this was amazing. Like, it was impeccable. But the story itself was like kind of mid. It was very
Yeah.
much mid. Like, there are bits and parts of it that I feel like were real.
I don't even know if I can say it was mid. It was kind of like
Okay.
low to mid.
Below mid.
Yeah, it was like below mid, but above like low.
Yeah. Like, there were parts in this movie where, like, all the parts with Vaughn and Yuna, like, interacting with each other, I thought were very well done. And those are the parts that I liked of the movie. Like, the
Right.
beginning, when they go to the village, and then, like, there was a part where they're in, like, a forest, and they're getting attacked by these guys on stilts. I thought was pretty cool. And then, like, the ending, or the big climactic ending, I did enjoy.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, not much of this movie was like fun to watch.
Right.
Like,
Well, and I kind of wonder if there was more to it because the movie itself is pretty long.
it's
Not
like
gonna
almost,
lie.
it's like what, like 2 hours, almost 2 hours long.
Yeah, and for a regular movie, they're not. I mean, even like a bunch of other movies we've watched, they're
Yeah.
not 2 hours. It's about an
Yeah.
hour and a half. So this one being that long, but the one thing that I feel like may be a redeeming factor to find out is if they actually had anything here that
Mhm.
was removed. Like, do we have a Snyder cut for the Deer King?
I don't think so. Um,
Because that's the only thing I could see is maybe if they had too much and they had to cut stuff out, and they're like, oh,
well,
we can cut that out
the thing
without.
is, like, I kind of feel like they could have cut out the whole like doctor storyline with the doctor and stuff.
I
Like,
agree,
I feel like
but they wanted to add that in there. I know, to kind of give like, oh well, this is how the country got
Yeah.
saved.
yeah, like,
Because without him, we wouldn't have had that part.
I feel like there's things in this that could have been cut out, like, and just like more streamlined to kind of make more sense, because you're kind of just thrown into this world with like a little blurb at the beginning, like, oh, there was a war and there's a
Yes.
disease,
Right.
and
Well, and I think we could have had more. It could have been better as a series.
or like an OVA,
Yeah, something like that.
like
Because
like
I
a
feel like split up, we would have been able to enjoy it a little more.
like
I
like
mean,
maybe like a
we would have gotten.
4 or 5 episode OVA, maybe 3 episodes,
No, I'm thinking like 6.
six maybe,
Make them all like 20 minutes,
maybe, yeah.
and then maybe throwing us a 7th one. Maybe shit that got deleted out of it.
Like,
You know.
I feel like if you just focused on Vaughn and Yuna, I would have enjoyed this movie more.
Yeah.
Like, there's definitely, like, I felt like there was, or even if like they did explain things to me, like, it kind of just went over my fucking head
Yeah.
at points.
Well, and let me throw this curveball in there. So I would akin this to the original Digimon movie after you find out that it's actually 3 or 4 different movies that were just combined
Yeah,
into each other in Japan.
yeah, that's true.
You know, so that's kind of, I mean, I agree with you. Like, I feel like it needed its parts, but I also feel like we used 3 different animes and said, hey, well, somehow we're going to make this storyline fit. Okay.
You know what I have to say though.
The doctor had a nice head of hair.
No, at the beginning of this anime, Vaughn had a pretty nice beard.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he goes and shaves off his beard.
I was sitting there thinking about one of our other ones podcasts that we did.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, the
The
representation, and then he shaved it off.
representation.
He shaved it off, and I was like, "You're kicked out of the guild.
Yeah, get out of here. We don't want you. You were
You
looking
can't be a part of
Yeah.
the shave club anymore."
Yeah. Gosh. Why'd you just ruin your perfect face by making it naked?
Well, and the other thing is, just spitting this out there, we did get to see a little part when he was part of the single antlers or whatever the
Yeah.
antler group is, and he's wearing a helmet and he doesn't have a beard. Okay, I understand that you wanted to allude to that. I understand they wanted to allude to that part again, but the other thing is to hide in plain sight, having a beard is actually very smart.
Yeah.
So for them to say, "Oh, well, let's do that," and Vaughn, hey, we're gonna shave Vaughn's beard again, okay?
Yeah.
We're gonna make him look
Because
everybody's like, who we lost to the mines? Oh yeah, it was that antler king guy person that was in the mine that we caught from blah 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 blah. And it's like, and now you just went back to looking the exact same way as
I mean, yeah,
how they caught you.
some people already knew like what he looked like
Exactly.
from the past like war that they were in. So like, why not just have a beard to disguise, what you look like? Because there is some time that does pass. It seems like through this movie,
right?
I don't know how much time passes, but some does.
I don't know. Like you said, a lot of things I feel like just got glazed over.
Oh, it definitely glazed over for me. Like,
because I went from the one lady fighting Vaughn to get Yuna, the assassin lady, to not knowing exactly what was going on, to her helping him out and firing arrows and stopping people from chasing him down, to leaving herself and then becoming like Yuna's like mother figure.
Yeah, she becomes her guardian at the end.
And I'm just like, wait, how did we get to that point? Because last I remember, you were kind of trying to kill Vaughn, and you stole this little girl, and then you just automatically were like, oh, we're fast friends. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, we're friends, and I'm gonna raise this girl, while you go off and do Deer King stuff,
Yeah, it just, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know as well. I don't know as well. Like, the premise sounded kind of cool, so that's why I was like, hey, let's watch this movie, and then I was like, what the fuck did we get into? Like, I was just like, oh my god, like, this is boring as fuck.
Yeah, like, any qualms that I had of other movies that we've picked before, like Bubble or Belle or any of those other ones, any qualms that I had with those ones at all, this one totally comes in and like squashes those.
I mean,
like even the worst movie that we've watched before that I didn't like this movie makes it seem like a gem because of how horrible just the storyline and stuff is.
What movie is that?
I can't remember which one I didn't like. It was one that you picked.
Okay.
But I mean, I know the other one that you'll say. So it's is Deer King better, or is oh god, I almost said Cause No Stigma. That's not it. Is Christ, the hide and seek one.
Cockerimbo?
Yeah. So for you, it's is Cockerimbo better than the Deer King?
I fucking hated Cockerimbo.
But was it better than the Deer King?
No.
We can't be friends anymore.
I actually liked elements of the Deer King, but it was more because it was like the father-daughter element that I liked of the movie. Cockerimbo, I just fucking hated. It was terrible.
Well, let me throw this wrench in there for you.
Okay.
So I too enjoyed the father-daughter aspect.
Uh-huh.
But I also hated the father-daughter aspect in the sense that this wasn't actually his real daughter.
No, it wasn't.
And while we have these flashbacks of stuff, it never seems to come to a head that there's fully a turn thing where it's like he fully accepts her as like his child
Mm-hmm.
without kind of that transition of his old family.
True.
You
But
see what I'm saying?
you could also say like they're very much a found family. Like they found each other
I agree with that,
in a
but
sense.
like I said, there's never that transition because usually you have the transition.
Yeah.
Just like the Good Dinosaur. Hey, we're gonna be together forever. Arlo and Spot, and then they find the little thing, and there's the turnover of, this is your family now. And
Yeah.
well, this one we didn't really have that.
No.
We get scenes of where something happens to Yuna uh and Vaughn's like, oh, flashbacks to the past. Oh God. That never really comes to a head. There's not really ever a turnover where
No.
I feel like he redeemed that and said, I reclaim her as like my family kind of sort of thing.
I guess I can see that. I kind of feel like he possibly did that towards the end of the movie
I don't feel like that.
when he like fully became like the Deer King.
I don't know if he ever
Which
became the Deer King.
question, did he end up turning into the deer at the end of the movie?
I don't want to answer that because that's another thing that I question.
Because I question that too.
And here's another thing.
What?
If he's the Deer King, why were a bunch of wolves following him?
I don't know.
Shouldn't he have been
know.
like the Wolf King?
Well, that's what he was supposed to be, was the Wolf King.
And then the other thing that really threw me off is if he was the Deer King, shouldn't just nature kind of bend to his will around him?
I get it. Yeah.
But I don't know. I agree with you on that part because the one that he did have, at one point you did see part of the antlers kind of cut.
Yeah.
And then the one we saw later on was a bigger deer, but those antler parts were still cut, which was his one that he was riding on.
Yeah.
But the other things that I question with that is if he did do it, then does that mean that his spirit went into the deer?
Ooh, that's a good question.
And if his spirit went into the deer, then what the hell happened with the rest of the deer?
What happened to his body if he went into the deer?
Well, I mean, I could see that. Like the whole
was the problem solved at the end of the movie? Like, did the virus end up going away at the end?
I
Like,
don't know.
like it's kind of just left open. Like,
Yet another reason why this movie was horrible compared to Kakariko. Just saying.
So, on a scale or star rating of 1 to 5, what would you give this movie?
What would you give this movie?
I would give it a 2.5. Only because of the animation.
You're very generous. I'm nice, so I'm not going to give it half a star. I'm going to say 1 star.
So, do you have any final thoughts about this movie?
If you don't like to drink, don't watch this movie. If you're drinking, it's a possibility.
How so?
If you're drinking,
Yeah.
take a shot every time you see a deer.
Oh, you'd be fucking drunk by the end of this movie. Because they're everywhere.
Not till you get to the Fire Horse Kingdom or whatever.
I mean, they're pretty prolific in the movie.
But you see the same one.
No, not in the village. They're different ones.
Then you see 2 of them.
Yeah, they're different.
But it wasn't.
Yeah,
it was not my cup of tea.
They all can't be a win. Like, it was just okay.
Yeah. But as long as this one was, it should have been a win.
It should have, because
It
like
should have been a win.
the animation was like fucking top notch.
It should have been a win, especially with the crew that worked on it, working on all these Ghibli ones or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like that was kind of maybe another point of it, is that you had people that worked on the Ghibli films or whatever thinking like, oh, hey, since I worked on those, maybe Miyazaki's ability to write and everything rubbed off on me.
Well,
And then they started putting their own together, and they were like, "Oh yeah, this is the best." And you're like,
I don't think all of Miyazaki's movies are like the best.
Well, I agree with that. I'm just saying.
To be honest,
I'm just saying they're really good and they follow through on what they're doing. This one was like Miyazaki's are like a handgun or a rifle. You know, they get you, and you're like, okay, I might not have liked it, but I get what was going on.
Yeah.
This one was like a shotgun, where it was like
it was everywhere. It was scattered, like a.
What ideas are we going with? I don't know. You know, that one and that one and that one and that one and that one, that one, that one, that one. Okay.
Yeah, like I don't even know if I would show this to anybody who like was just a casual anime fan.
I don't think I would show this to a hardcore anime fan.
I don't think so either.
I don't even know if I would turn this on to fall asleep to at night.
Oh yeah. Oh, that says something.
I mean, it was that bad.
It was pretty bad.
It was that bad. 2.5 star my ass then.
I'm sorry.
Tell me what you really think. Is it 2.5 star?
I think it's 2.5 stars. Like they're
full of shit.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I think you're full of shit on that one. I've heard some other ones that you're like 2 stars, and this one is not there, Padre. Not there.
Okay. Fine, 2 stars. Is that better?
No, I feel like you should knock it down a little more. Maybe like 1.5.
Okay, 1.5 stars. Is that better?
Is that what were you agreeing that's what it was?
Fine, 1.5 stars.
Yeah. See, so now ours together make it 2.5 stars.
Okay.
Out of 10.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I hope the next one we pick is better than this movie. For sure.
I agree. I mean, it can't get any worse. I mean, I don't know. This makes me really want to go back and review the second part of Bastard, just because I know that that's going to be a win.
True.
But I'm like, maybe
it was very much like a wet fart.
I don't know if it was a wet fart.
Okay.
I feel like it was more like one of those sandpaper farts.
Ooh.
Yeah, where you're like, I gotta do this because I'm full of gas. But if I do this, it's gonna scratch my organs up.
On that note, we'll see you guys next Tuesday.
We'll see you next Tuesday. Make sure that you like and follow and subscribe to the podcast for more future content. And don't watch The Deer King, okay?